Hello everybody, my name is Yusuf Adel and today I'm going to be solving the digital SAT practice test number 1. So let's get going. So first of all, this test is fully with calculator, so you can use the calculator in all its sections. What is 10% of 470? So to solve this question, you can either use the calculator and multiply 470, multiply 10%. That's gonna get you the percentage, which is 447. Number 2, which equation has the same solution as the given equation? So the given equation is 4x plus 6 equals 18. So 4x equals 18 minus 6. We're gonna take the 18 there, so it's gonna be 18 minus 6. So 4x equals 12. So the answer is C. Moving on to the third question. The total cost in dollars to rent a surfboard consists of $25 service fee and a $10 per hour rental fee. A person rents a surfboard for 40 hours and intends to spend a maximum of $75 to rent the surfboard. Which inequality represents this situation? So the maximum price he wants to spend is $75. So we're gonna make it less than or equal 75. And he says to rent the surfboard consists of a $25 service fee and a 10 per hour rental fee. So 10 multiplies t because it's the number that changes by time. So 10 multiply t because $10 is the number that changes by time and $25 is the standard fee for the surfboard rent. So 25 plus 10t is less than or equal 75. So the answer is D. Okay. So moving on to question number 4. The function g is defined by gx equal x to the power 2 plus 9 for which value of x is gx equal 25. So here we can use the calculator and use the try and error method by using all these answers, putting them into the equation here and getting the number that will get me the 25 as the resultant. So, or we can use something else. We can do 25 equals x squared plus 9. So 25 minus 9 equals 16. So 16 equals x squared. So x equals 4. Then we got the answer. Okay. Moving on to question number 5. Each face of a fair 14-sided die is labeled with a number from 1 through 14, with a different number appearing on each face. If the dice is rolled one time, what is the probability of rolling a 2? So the 2 happens in 1 to 14 once, right? So the number 2 occurs from 1 to 14 once. So if the die is rolled one time, what is the probability of rolling a 2? So the probability of rolling a 2 would be 1/14, because the number 2 occurs once throughout the whole die process, and all the numbers are 14 numbers. So the answer is 1/14. Moving to the next question. It says a printer produces posters at a constant rate of 42 posters per minute. At what rate in posters per hour does the printer produce the posters? So it produces 42 posters per minute, per 1 minute. So an hour has 60 minutes in it. Am I correct? Then 60 minutes. Question number 6. A printer produces posters at a constant rate of 42 posters per minute. At what rate in posters per hour does the printer produce the posters? So it makes 42 posters per minute, and an hour has 60 minutes. So what would it do in 60 minutes? So 42 multiply 60, which is gonna get me 42 on the calculator. 42 multiply 60 is 2,520. 2,520 posters. Okay. Question number 7. The function f is defined by the equation fx equals 7x plus 2. What is the value of fx when x equals 4? So 7x plus 2 when f of 4. So it's gonna be equal to 7 multiplied by 4 plus 2. 7 by 4 equals 28. 28 plus 2 equals 30. So the answer of this question is 30. Okay. A tutor is creating an assignment worth 70 points. The assignment will consist of questions worth 1 point and the question worth 3 points. Which equation represents this situation? Where x represents the number of 1 point and y represents the number of x 2 points. So this is a very easy question. So the total is 70 points, so 70 equal. And it says the 1 point represents x, so 1x. And the 3 points represents y, so plus 3y equals 70. So the answer is D. Moving on, question number 9. Right triangles LMN and PQR are similar, where L and M correspond to P and Q, respectively. Angle M has a measure of 53 degrees. What is the measure of angle Q? So let's draw the triangles. So LMN So let's say that these are the triangles. Sorry. So this is Q and that's R. So he says here that M equals 53 degrees. Okay. So M equals 53 degrees. What is the measure of angle Q? So because he says these are corresponding angles, then the answer would be 53. Because these are corresponding angles, so the angles would be equal each other. Moving on to question number 10. The solution to the given system of equations is x and y. What is the value of x? So this is a very easy algebraic equation. So to solve this question in the fast way, we can substitute y with 3x in this equation. So 4x minus 3x equals 15. So x equals 15. As easy as that. Question number 11. So which of the following equation is the most appropriate linear model for the data shown in the scatter plot? So he wants the equation for this scatter plot. So y equals mx plus b, where b is the starting point, where y equals 0, and m is the slope. So let's find the slope. And the slope would be, let's pick 2 points on the scatter plot. So the x values increase and the y values decrease. So the slope here is in a negative form. So we're gonna exclude C and D. Okay. So now we know that the slope is negative 1.9x. So is it negative 10.1 or positive 10.1? And as we see here, that's 9 point something, so the scatter plot is gonna start on 10 point something, so it's positive 10.1. So as simple as that, from the elimination process, we concluded that the x is increasing and the y is decreasing, so the slope is negative, because y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. If this one is in negative, this one is in positive, then the total answer would be in negative. So that's how we found out that the slope is negative. And let me erase this hustle. And with the basic conclusion, we're gonna know that the starting point, or the y-intercept, is gonna be on 10.1, because it's the same number in all the answers. So the answer for this question would be B. Moving on to question number 12. The graph of y equals fx is shown, where the function f is defined by f of x equals ax cubed plus bx squared plus cx plus d. And a, comma b, comma c, and d are constants. For how many values of x does f of x equals 0? So for how many values of x does the graph fall on 0 for the y-axis? So as you can see here, the points where the y is 0 and the x is a number are negative 2, 4, and 7. So they are 3. Moving on to the question number 13. Vivian bought party hats and cupcakes for $71. Each package of party hats costs $3, and each cupcake costs $1. If Vivian bought 10 packages of party hats, how many cupcakes did she buy? So the total is $71. Okay, and 3h, which defines the hats, plus 1c, which defines the cupcakes. If she bought 10 packages of hats, so 3 multiply 10 plus c equals 71. So it's gonna be 30 plus c equals 71. Then c is gonna equal, we can use the calculator here, 71 minus 30, it's gonna be 41. So the answer is 41. These are the number of cupcakes that she bought. Question number 14. What is the one solution to the given equation? So here, we can use the calculator to get the equation. We're going to use mod 5, 3. And then we're going to find in the calculator that we can put the a, b, and c values for the equation. So the a value here is 1, and the b value here is 10, and the c value here is 24. So we put these in the negative 24, sorry. So we put these in the calculator. It gives us the solutions for the equation. So what if we want to solve it in a different way? So this is the calculator method. Now we're going to use the other method. Okay. Question number 14. So here we can use so the two values that multiply to negative 24 and add to 10 are 12 and negative 2. So how did I find that? I'm gonna use negative b, positive or negative, square root b squared minus 4ac over 2a. This is gonna find me a solution where b is 10 and a is 1 and c equals to negative 24. So here we're gonna find the solution for the equation. Moving on to question number 15. Bacteria are growing in a liquid growth medium. There were 300,000 cells per milliliter during an initial observation. The number of cells per milliliter doubles every 3 hours. How many cells per milliliter will there be 15 hours after the initial observation? So the total was 300,000 cells per milliliter during the first initial observation. Then the number of cells per millimeter doubles every 3 hours. So every 3 hours, this number doubles. So after the first 3 hours, A became 600,000. Okay. Now he wants to know how many cells per milliliter will there be 15 hours after the initial observation. So now, let's say at the hour number 3, three hours from the starting point, we had 600,000. Now I want to know after 15 hours, how much do I have? So I'm going to do cross multiplication. I'm going to multiply 15 by the 600,000 divided 3, which is going to give me 9,600,000. So let's solve it with a different method. So we're going to say that y equals a, open brackets, b, x over k, where y is the number that we're going to find out after the 15 hours, and a is the starting number, which is 300,000, and b, which is the factor that increases with, which is 2, because it multiplies, and k is the number of hours it multiplies in, and x is the value that we multiply it after the time. So y equals 300,000 multiplies 2 to the square root of 15 to the power of 15, to the power of 15 over 3, which is going to get us also 9,600,000. And you can check that on the calculator. Now, let's start with question number 16. Which expression is equivalent to 6x to the power 8, y to the power 2 plus 12x to the power 2, y to the power 2? Here, we can take common factors in this equation. So 6 is a common factor. So 6. And 2 is a common factor, and y2 is a common factor. So 6x2, y2. Sorry, let's go in a bigger area. So 6x2, y2, open brackets. It's going to be x6 plus 2. So the answer is C. As simple as that. Number 17. A neighborhood consists of 2-hectare park and 35-hectare residential area. The total number of trees in the neighborhood is 3,934. The equation 2x plus 35y equals 3,934 represents the situation. Which of the following is the best interpretation of x in this context? So here, the 2 hectares are the value of x, and 35 and y represents the 35 hectares in the residential area. So it says the average number of trees per hectare in the park, or the average number of trees per hectare in the residential area, or the total number of trees in the park, or the total number of trees in the residential area. So of course, the answer here for this question is very easy, and it is the average number of trees per hectare in the park, because it says the neighborhood consists of 2 hectares park and the 35 hectares residential area, and the total number of trees in both is 3,934. So x here represents the total number of trees in the 2 hectares of the park. Which is the average number. Okay, moving on to question number 18. Here, as you see, is a graph that shows the relationship between the number of shares of stocks for company A, which is the x values, and the number of shares of the stock from company B, which is the y values, that Simon can purchase. Which equation can represent this relationship? So we need a linear equation that represents this relationship. Okay. Number 18. The graph shows the relationship between the number of shares of stock from company A, which is the x values of the graph, and the number of shares of stock from company B, which is the y values of the graph, that Simons can purchase. Which equation could represent this relationship? So we need to get a linear equation that represents company B into relationship in company A. So we need to find the slope. So y2. So we need, as we said, get y1, x1, y1, and x2, y2, and then find the slope, which is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So let's take 40 is y2 and 0 is y1 over 60 is x2 minus 0 is x1. So 40 over 60. Question number 18. The graph shows the relationship between the number of shares of stock from company A and the number of shares of stock from company B that Simon can purchase. Which equation could represent this relationship? So 40 minus 0 over 60 minus 0, which is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, which is the slope. So from here we can get the slope, which is going to be two over 3 x. Or we can use a lot different method, which is going to be a lot easier because we're using the calculator, which is the try and error method with the calculator. So we're going to put that y equals 0 and x equals 60. So y equals 8 multiplied 60 plus 12 is not going to get us 0. And 8 multiplied 60 plus 12 multiplies 0. So 8 multiplied 60 equals 480 equals 480. So B could be a possible correct answer. Let's keep going. Y equals 12 multiplied 60 plus 8. That would not get us the 0. So 12 multiplied 60 is going to get us 720. 720 plus 8 multiplies 0 equals 0. So 720 equals 480. And that is wrong. So Y is not going to get us the answer. So the correct answer for this question is B. Because when Y equals 0, X equals 60. So when X equals 60 here, Y is going to be equal 0. And this fulfills the equation. Moving on to question number 19. Circle A has a radius of r of 3n, and circle B has a radius of 129n, where n is a positive constant. The area of the circle B is how many times the area of the circle A? So the area of the circle is pi r squared. So let's check the radius. So the radius of the first one is pi 3n squared, and the radius of the second one is pi 129 squared. So how could we solve a question like that? First of all, now we know the areas of the both circles. The first one, which is the small one, is pi rn squared, and the second one is pi 129 squared. So this is gonna get us 129 squared over 9 which simplifies to 1,849, because 129 multiply 129 equals 16,641, and this is the radius n squared, and this is the radius of the large circle, and 9n squared is the radius of the big circle. These two divide each other is gonna tell us how many times the area of the circle A is circle B. Because we divide the larger number over the small number, and this is gonna get us how much times is the area bigger than the other one. And if you use the calculator, the answer is gonna get you 1,849. Now moving on to question number 20. The frequency table summarizes the 57 data values in a data set. What is the maximum data value in the data set? So the maximum value is the largest value in the data set. The frequency refers to the number of times the data value occurs. The given frequency table shows that for this data set, the data value 6 occurs 3 times. And the data value 7 occurs 3 times. And 8 occurs 8 times, 9 occurs 8 times, and moving on until 14 occurs 6 times. So how we could get the maximum value of data. So we're gonna multiply each data value with the frequency. So 6 multiplied 3 is gonna get us 18. And 7 multiplies 3 is gonna get us 21. 8 multiplies 8 is gonna get us 64. 9 multiplies 8 equals 72. 10 multiplied 9 is 90. And 11 multiplied 11 is 121. 12 multiplied 9 is 108. And this one is equal 0. And 14 multiplied 6 equals 84. So, what is the maximum data value in the data set? So the maximum value in this data set is 11, because its frequency is 11. Now moving on to question number 21. A circle in the xy plane has a diameter with endpoints 2 and 4 in 2 and 14. An equation of this circle is x minus 2 squared plus y minus 9 squared equal r squared, where r is a positive constant with what is the value of r? A circle in the xy plane has a diameter with endpoints 2 and 4 in 2 and 14. An equation of this circle is x minus 2 squared plus open brackets y minus 9 squared equals r squared, where r is a positive constant. What is the value of r? So the standard form of an equation of a circle in the xy plane is x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared, where h and k and r are constants. So the coordinates of the center of the circles are h and k, which are -2, and -9. No, I'm sorry. Which are 2 and 9, because x minus 2 equal, so the x value is 2, and y minus 9, so the y value is 9. So 2 and 9. So it's given that the endpoints of the diameter of the circle are 2 and 4 and 2 and 14. The length of the radius is the distance from the center of the circle to the endpoint of a diameter of the circle, which can be found using the distance formula of the circle, which can be found using the distance formula of the circle, which is square root, 1 second, which is square root of x1 minus x2 to the power 2 plus y1 minus y2 to the power 2. So we're going to substitute 2 and 9, which are the values of the mid of the circle, of the center of the circle, and one of the endpoints of the circle, which are 2 and 4. Or 2 and 14. It's not going to make a difference, but 2 and 4 are the smaller numbers, so let's pick 2 and 4. So let's substitute in the equation. So this is going to give us 2 minus 2 to the power 2 plus 9 minus 4 to the power 2 equal 0 squared plus 5 squared, and 25 squared equals 5. Because 5 to the power 2 equals 25, and 0 to the power 2 equals 0, so 0 plus 25 equals 25, and the square root of 25 is 5, so the value of r is 5. Now moving on to question number 22. It says the measure of angle r is 2 pi over 3 radians. The measure of angle t is 5 pi over 12 radians, greater than the measure of angle r. What is the measure of angle t in degrees? So first of all, here the angles are in radians, and we need to convert them to degrees. And 2 pi r is the angle r, and angle t is 5 pi over 12 the angle r. Therefore, the measure of angle t is equal to 2 pi over 3 plus 5 pi over 12. 2 pi over 3 plus 5 pi over 12. So let's multiply 2 pi over 3 by 4 over 4 to get a common denominator with 5 over 12. So if we multiply this side by 4, it's gonna be 8 over 12 pi plus 5 over 12 pi. 5 pi over 12. And this is gonna get us 13 pi over 12. In radians. So how to convert from radians to degrees? This is what we're gonna do right now. So the radian, any radian, we multiply it by 180 over pi to convert it to degrees. So 13 pi over 12 is going to get us the new angle in degrees. So by using the calculator, the result is 195 degrees. So the answer is C, 195. Moving on to question number 23. A certain town has an area of 4.36 square miles. What is the area in square yards of this town? So this is a very easy question. We can use the cross multiplication method here. So 4.36 miles would equal what? If 1 mile equals 1,760 yards. So we're going to multiply 4.36 on the calculator with 1,760. So 4.36 multiply 1,760. This is going to get us 7,674, which is the correct answer, which is B. Okay, moving on to question number 24. For line H, the table shows 3 values of x and their corresponding values of y. Line K is the result of translating line H down 5 units in the xy plane. What is the x-intercept of line K? So we want to know the x-intercept of line K. So this equation of line H can be written in the slope-intercept form, which is y equals mx plus b. Okay, where m is the slope in the line of the line, where m is the slope of the line, and b is the y-intercept of this line. It's given that the line H contains the points 18 and 130, 23 and 160, and 26 and 178. So therefore we can calculate the slope. We can do y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So 160 minus 130 over 23 minus 18. And this is going to get us 6 by the calculator. So substituting 6 for m in the equation y equal mx plus 3 is going to get us m equals 6. So now we need to find the y-intercept. So we can substitute 130 for y and 18 for x. So this is going to get us the y-intercept, or b. So 130 equals 6 multiplies 18 plus b. Using the calculator, we can get that b equals 22. How did we get that? 6 multiplies 18 is 108. 130 minus 108 is 22. So b is 22. Now we got the y-intercept of this equation. It says that the line K is the result of translating line H down 5 units in the xy plane. So what is the x-intercept of the line K? How will we get the x-intercept of the line K? So now we have the line H, which is y equals 6x plus 22. So since line K translates down 5 units, so we're going to subtract 22 from 5, which is going to give us 17. And now we need to get, so 17 is the new y-intercept. So now 17 is the new y-intercept of line H. So the equation of line K now is y equals 6x plus 17. After translating it down 5 units. Now we need to get, when y equals 0, what is x? So if y equals 0, now 6x plus 17. So we're going to take this right here. So it's going to be negative 17 over 6. So the answer is D. Moving on to question number 25. In the xy plane, the graph of the equation y equals negative x squared plus 9x minus 100 intersects the line y equals c at exactly 1 point. What is the value of C? So the graph of the line y equals C is a horizontal line that crosses the y-axis at y equals C. And the graph of this quadratic equation is y equals minus x squared plus 9x minus 100, which is a parabola. So a parabola can only intersect a horizontal line at exactly 1 point, which is its vertex. So the C should be equal to the y-coordinate of the vertex of this graph, of this equation. So now we can get the y's, the x's, or the solutions of this equation, which should be y equals minus x minus 9 over 2 squared plus minus minus 319 over 4. How did we get this equation? So we need to transform this equation to the vertex form, which is y equals a x minus h squared plus k. How do we do that? So now y equals negative x squared minus 2 open brackets 9 over 2 x plus 9 over 2 squared minus 100, or y equals negative open brackets x minus 9 over 2 squared plus negative 309 over 4, which is the vertex of this graph. And the vertex is k, so k is negative 309 over 4, so the answer is C. Now, moving to the last two questions in this section, 26 and 27. Number 26. So these are two equations here, 2x plus 3y equals 7 and 10x plus 15y equals 35. For each real number r, which of the following points lies on the graph of each equation in the xy plane for the given system? So 2x plus 3y equals 7 and 10x plus 15y equals 35. He wants here. So we're going to use here the substituting method. So let's try letter B. So this one here represents the x coordinate and r represents the y coordinate. So 2 negative 3r over 2 plus 7 over 2 plus 3r equals 7, which is equivalent to negative 3r plus 7 plus 3r equals 7. So negative 3r plus 3r equals 0, so 0 equals 0. So this is the right question because both sides are equal to each other. So let's try another one to make sure that this one is the correct answer. So let's substitute here. Two r plus 3, 2r over 3 plus 7 over 3 equals 7. So 2r plus 2r plus 7 equals 7. So 7 minus 7 equals 0. And 4r equals 0. So this one is wrong. So C is wrong, and D is wrong, and A is wrong. So the answer is B. So this equation, you're going to solve it a lot faster with a calculator by substituting the values and using shift solve on the calculator. The last question in this section, which is number 27, the perimeter of an equilateral triangle is 624 centimeters. The height of this triangle is k over 3 centimeters. K to the square root of 3 centimeters, where k is a constant. What is the value of k? So the perimeter of this equilateral triangle is 624 centimeters. So any equilateral triangle has all three sides with angles of 60 degrees here, 60 degrees, and 60 degrees. So the height of this triangle is k to the square root of 3. So we're going to make this 30 degrees, and this 90 degrees, and this 60 degrees. Correct? So this makes each side length of the equilateral triangle equals 2k by using the triangle method. The Pythagorean theorem. So the perimeter of this triangle is 2k plus 2k plus 2k, which is equal to 624. So 6k equals 624. So 624 over 6 equals 104. So k equals 104. Moving on to the next section. Question number 1. Tilly earns P dollars for every W hours of work. Which expression represents the amount of money in dollars Tilly earns for 39 weeks, for 39 W hours of work? Tilly earns P dollars for every W hours of work. Which expression represents the amount of money in dollars Tilly earns for 39 W hours per week? So here it says that he earns P dollars for every W hours of work. So how many P dollars would he earn for 39W? So 39W, he would earn 39 P dollars. For a training program, Juan rides his bike at an average rate of 5.7 minutes per mile. Which function M models the number of minutes it will take Juan to ride X miles at this rate? So the answer is D, because his average rate of 5.7 minutes per mile, and X represents the miles, so 5.7 multiplied X equals X or Y, which is the same thing. Now, question number 3. 3x equals 12 and negative 3x plus y equals negative 6. These are two equations, and the solution to the given system of equations is x and y. What is the value of y? So we need to get the value of y in this equation. So it says that here 3x equals 12, then x equals 4. So minus 3x plus y equals negative 6. So negative 12, because x equals 4 and negative 3 multiplies 4 equals negative 12, plus y equals negative 6. And we take negative 12 to the other side, it becomes positive 12. So negative 6 plus 12 is 6, so y equals 6. Now moving to the question number 4. And s equals 40 plus 3t. The equation gives the speed s in miles per hour for a certain car t, seconds after it began to accelerate. What is the speed in miles per hour of the car 5 seconds after it began to accelerate? So this is a very easy substitution method question. So we're going to substitute the time t for 5. So s equals 40 plus 3 multiply 5. And s equals 40 plus 15. S equals 55. So the answer for number 4 is D. Question number 5. For the right triangle shown A equals 4 and B equals 5, which expression represents the value C? So for this question, we will use the Pythagorean theorem. So C equals A squared plus B squared. So C equals 4 squared plus 5 squared. So the answer is D. Question number 6. What is the solution to the given equation for x plus 5 equals 165? So this is a very easy question. You can use it with a calculator using shift solve method, or without using the calculator at all. For x equals 160 and x equals 160 over 4. So 160 over 4 using the calculator equals 40. So x equals 40. Now number 7. The x-intercept of the graph shown is x in 0. What is the value of x? So when y equals 0, the value of x was 7, which is this point. Number 8. The function is defined by f of x equals 1 over 10x minus 2. What is the y-intercept of the graph of y equals f of x in the xy plane? So the y-intercept of this equation is -2. So B is the answer, because from the equation above, y equals mx plus b, where b is the y-intercept, so -2 here represents b, so the answer is -2. Question number 9. The function f is defined by f of x equals 7x plus 3 to the power 3. In the xy plane, the graph of y equals g of x is the result of shifting the graph of y f of x down 2 units. Which equation defines the function g? So if the graph is shifted down 2 units, then the y-intercept becomes from 0 to -2. So in this equation, 7x3 plus 0, so the y-intercept here equals 0, that's why it's not written. So if it shifts down 2, then 7x to the power 3 minus 2 is the right answer. So D is the right answer. Number 10. X plus 7 equals 10, and x plus 7 to the power 2 equals y. Which order pair x2 and y is a solution to the given system of equations? So now we need to find x and y. So simply here, in the first equation, we can find x very easily. So x equals 3, 10 minus 7 equals 3. And then we substitute x in the second equation. So 3 plus 7 to the power 2 in brackets equals y. So 3 plus 7 equals 10, and 10 to the power 2 equals 100. So the correct answer for this equation is 3 and 100, which is A. Moving on to question number 11. Which expression is equivalent to 7x to the power 3 plus 7x minus 6x to the power 3 minus 3x? So how to solve these questions? We can combine them. So first of all, we can unlock the brackets by saying that 7x to the power 3 plus 7x, and let the negative enter this bracket. It is simply a distributive property, so negative 6x to the power 3 plus 3x now let's add the values, so x to the power 3 plus 10x is the answer. So the answer for question number 11 is A. Now moving on to question number 12. The function p is defined by pn equals 7n to the power 3. What is the value of n when pn is equal to 56? So we need to find the value of n when pn is equal to 56. So 56 equals 7n to the power 3. So 56 over 7, this gives us 8. 56 over 7, 8, equals n to the power 3. And n to the power 3 is gonna get us n equals cubic root 8. And cubic root 8 is 2. So the answer for question number 12 is 2. Now moving on to question number 13. In the figure shown, 90 intersects parallel lines S and T. What is the value of x? So here we can use the corresponding method of angles. So this angle is going to be 110, and this angle is going to be, let's name this one y. Okay. So this one is going to be y, and let's name this one 110 because this is a corresponding angle and this one is 110. And here y equals x. So how can we find y? We can find it by saying that 180 minus 110 equals x, or y, which is the same thing. So 180 minus 110 equals 70. So x equals 70, and this is the value of x. Now, a list of 10 data values is shown: 6, 8, 16, 4, 17, 26, 8, 5, 5, 5. Now, what is the mean of these data? So, to find the mean is the addition or the sum of the data values divided by their number or value. So, these are 10 data values, and now we need to add them all together and divide them by 10. So 6 plus 8 plus 16 plus 4 plus 17, and let's write them again. 6, so it would be enough. 6 plus 8 plus 5 plus 5 plus 5. The order does not make a difference in the mean, but if you want to get the median, you need to get them in order. But here in this question, he's asking for the mean. Plus 5, sorry, only 3 5s, plus another 8, plus 26, plus 4, and plus 16, and plus 17. All of these are over 10, and this is gonna get us, using the calculator, $100 over 10 if you add all these values together. So the right answer is 10. So this is the mean of these values. Now moving on to question number 15. The equation ET equals 5, 1.8 T gives the estimated number of employees at a restaurant, where T is the number of years since the restaurant opened. Which of the following is the best interpretation of the number 5 in this context? So for an exponential function of the form ET equals 5, open brackets, 1.8 to the power T,